Today's rant comes to us from the January 6th videos that have been recently released by Tucker Carlson. When has the government told you that you shouldn't get to see information, and then later you found out that the government was lying to you? I mean, UFOs are a perfect example. The government lied to us for how many years that UFOs didn't exist? And then they just admitted it just a couple years ago.
So what you're telling me is that UFOs, unidentified flying objects, are real.
Bill, I think we're beyond that already. The government has already stated for the record that they're real. I'm not telling you that. The United States government is telling you that.
So just that alone proves such a length of time of lies from our government that we should not just trust when they tell us, don't ask questions, just trust us. So let's roll into it.
Here's the man you've heard referred to as the QAnon shaman outside the Senate chamber. The single most famous person arrested that day was a Navy veteran from Arizona called Jacob Chansley, often referred to as the QAnon shaman.
The so-called QAnon shaman.
QAnon shaman.
Someone named Q Shaman.
People have been programmed to believe that QAnon is this conspiracy that we should all fear. It's a conspiracy against pedophilia. And considering the fact that Democrats, again, accuse every Republican who's ever been nominated for anything of being a sexual abuser, then why aren't they behind the idea of QAnon as well? Is it because it only appears to be going after the people who are kind of associated with Epstein?
Jacob Chansley became the face of January 6th, a dangerous conspiracy theorist dressed in outlandish costume who led the violent insurrection to overthrow American democracy. For these crimes, Chansley was sentenced to nearly 4 years in prison, far more time than many violent criminals now receive. What did Jacob Chansley do to receive this punishment?
Jacob Chansley is meant to be a symbol of you dare not step up to the government. And so if they can throw something on him and they can put him in his place, then how many other Americans won't ever step up?
And for those brave right-wing Americans who say it's all about keeping America's independent and safe, if you want to fight against the country, you need an F-15. You need something a little more than a gun.
And how much of this laying down does our government force us to do by taking down people like Jacob Chansley as the symbol so that you don't dare step up to the government?
This footage is available to everyone, including the anchors on MSNBC. Here's video of Chansley in the Senate chamber. Capitol Police officers take him to multiple entrances and even try to open locked doors for him. We counted at least 9 officers who were within touching distance of unarmed Jacob Chansley. Not one of them even tried to slow him down. Contrast the reality of what Jacob Chansley did in the Capitol building on January 6th, the indisputable facts recorded on video, some of which has never before been seen, with the depiction of Jacob Chansley that you've seen in the media for more than 2 years. He's a terrorist, they said.
So how do you explain this footage? I mean, this is the real question we should be asking ourselves as Americans, is not Democrat or Republican, but what does the evidence show us? They just want to say you shouldn't have gotten to see it.
Shoot him. Shoot him.
They don't even think you should see the facts, when clearly the facts in this case, if that man was holding a gun, would have saved this dude's life. Because this guy didn't even know the facts, and he's over here talking about shooting people, taking people's lives for something he doesn't even know what he's talking about. The media is responsible for that narrative. The media is responsible for anybody who thinks like this. How do you now feel? Have you looked at the evidence and now seen that you wanted to shoot a man who was not actually guilty of what I can see as anything? And we now know that it wasn't given a fair trial? And I'll tell you this, I don't even know who you are, dude who wants to shoot people. If you were the one wearing that outfit and we were in reverse roles, I wouldn't shoot you. And I'd be making sure that you have a fair trial and that all of the evidence comes out.
Shoot him! Shoot him! It makes you wonder, who are the violent extremists here? Not Jacob Chansley, and the video proves that. But you would never have known from the media coverage.
How much is the media influencing stuff like this all the time and misinforming people about what's going on? Making other Americans hate other Americans to the point where they want to shoot them. Thanks for hitting that like and subscribe button. Thanks to all my subscribers. Thanks to my new subscribers. If you like this rant, check out one of these other 2 rants. Thanks for watching. Later.